Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Gabe with Indigo Software, genuine Microsoft software for less. So I just upgraded to a brand new M2 MacBook Pro, and we thought we'd make a quick video covering some of the different specifications and what you might need if you're looking at a MacBook Pro for yourself. Before we get into that, if you're interested in genuine Microsoft software at a great price, check out Indigo Software. We'll have links in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so the first thing that's kind of important to cover is why get a MacBook Pro in the first place. So if you're mostly working through a web browser and typing up documents, these machines are going to be overkill and you should probably stick with a MacBook Air with the M1 or M2. Now, if you're editing 4K videos, rendering 3D models, producing music, that's what these machines are intended for. Now, we thought it'd be important to cover that because these have a starting price of $2,000. So they're definitely a significant investment, and it only gets more expensive from there. Now this one here is the 14-inch screen model. I have the second option for the processor, which is the 12-core CPU and 19-core GPU. We have a 1 terabyte SSD and 16 gigabytes of unified memory. Now I chose all of these specs specific for video editing. I'm frequently running through 4K videos on a very high-end camera, so I need the processor to be able to handle that without taking up my entire day. So if we're comparing this to the M1, both models have the same chassis as their predecessors, which come equipped with mini LED screens, providing deeper black and rich color like the iPad Pro. They also have a 120 Hz refresh rate for a really smooth experience on screen. And we have physical row of function keys. There's no touch bar here. And I have a massive preference to not have the touch bar. I had the touch bar on the old computer, and I think having the physical keys is so much more usable. Now, as far as the other features, we have a 1080p webcam. We have a Touch ID sensor here in the top right of the keyboard, a 6-speaker sound system, and we have a variety of ports, including an HDMI 2.1. We have 3 USB-C ports, all with Thunderbolt 4. We have an SD card slot, which for me is really nice. I don't have to use my SD card adapters anymore and have to worry about slow speeds from those, so the onboard SD card slot is really nice. We also have a high impedance headphone jack, a MagSafe charging port, and we have Wi-Fi 6E support, along with Bluetooth 5.3. Now, you don't have to use the MagSafe port for charging. You can also use any of the USB-C ports to charge. Now, the two processor choices for this machine are more power than most people would ever need. Wired posted a review of the 16-inch MacBook Pro with an M2 Max chip. He put the device through its paces by adding 4K footage, 3D effects, and image files into an Adobe Premiere project. And the result was smooth playback without the need to reduce quality or make proxies or anything like that, and a speedy export time, proving that it's an excellent device for handling intensive, graphically demanding production work. They also tested the 14-inch M2 Pro, similar to this computer in front of me, with a slightly similar stress test. For example, they were running ProRes RAW from a RED camera. So if you're not familiar, those are some beefy file sizes, and they start with an 8K resolution. And that also performed with 0 stuttering or hiccups. Now, between the 16 and the 14-inch model, the 16-inch exclusively has its own high power mode. You're gonna see longer battery life. If you're doing heavy performance tasks, this will get about 2 hours without a power source, whereas the 16-inch model will see about 3 to 4 hours. So if you're stuck on the exact combination to go with, we'd recommend the 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M2 for those who want a big display and longer battery life. For intermediate content creators, the M2 Pro coupled with either size will suffice. 14-inch MacBook Pro is similar in size to the 13-inch MacBook Pro, making it easier to travel with, but the 16-inch might feel too big, and that's the reason that I chose this one here. I wanted a decent size, but I didn't want it to be too big, and I pretty much exclusively got this for the processing power because it just packs a punch. Now, the main specification that you're going to be looking for is which specific processor specifications that you might want to get. So M2 is considered a base level chip with slightly more processing power than the M1. Packs an 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU, along with support for up to 24 gigabytes of unified memory. M2 would be great for daily tasks such as word processing, web browsing, etc. But tasks like editing multiple streams of 4K footage and 3D rendering should be reserved for the Pro or Max versions. The M2 Pro is going to be the next step up from the M2. Now, the M2 Pro has a 12-core CPU and a 19-core GPU with up to 32 gigabytes of unified memory. This is a marginal upgrade compared to the M1 Pro, and it's probably the best option for those who want a more future-proof processor. The M2 Max is going to be the absolute most powerful processor that you can get on the MacBook Pro, Packs up to a 12-core CPU and a 38-core GPU, and we actually have support for all the way up to 96 gigabytes of unified memory. Now, the only scenario that you'll want to consider the M2 Max with all of its power is specific graphics intensive content, including graphic design, 3D modeling, and heavy duty video footage. So the graphics card, the GPU, is going to have the biggest impact for things like graphic design and 3D rendering, animation, that type of thing. Now, these new MacBooks just came out in January. If you don't need this kind of power, we'd recommend opting for the 2022 13-inch MacBook Pro or any of the MacBook Airs with the M2 chip. But if you need something as powerful and as great as these, then now would be a great time to buy. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, drop those in the comment section below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Again, if you're interested in genuine Microsoft software at a great price, check out Indigo Software. We'll have links in the description box below. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.